Welcome back to another episode of The Real Teachers of Atlanta. I am Nikki.
I'm Joya.
I'm Ty.
And today we're going to have a conversation about teachers and narcotics.
We got the queens in the house, y'all. Real teachers of Atlanta.
Hi, I'm Mrs. P. Smith, the Mama Bear at school, your favorite ELA and SPED teacher, but always teaching my students about business.
I'm Miss Rose, commonly known as the snarky teacher, always ready with the good candy. The kids say I'm their favorite math teacher. After school, it's lights, camera, action. During school hours, it's Miss Carter, the life science teacher saving lives.
We got the queens in the house, y'all. Real teachers of Atlanta.
Yep, we on that stuff.
They're getting high.
Yep.
We're doing a lot.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Why are teachers getting high?
Because
This
they
is straight to
want to
it.
get high.
Wow, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know people get high in all professions, but it seems like, because we come from the field of teaching, they are hitting the narcotics a little hard.
Well, so I think I can't even get the words out. Oh, yes, they are. They're getting, there's prescription drug abuse that's happening very prevalently in the education field. But prescription meaning somebody's getting their hands on it.
They don't drug test teachers.
They do. Well,
I'm sorry. In Georgia, they don't drug
Yes, they
test.
do. When you first get your job.
No, they don't.
And
No,
that's
they
it.
don't.
I got drug tested before when I first started teaching.
drug tested.
I have
I
never been
took
drug
my
tested.
drug
I mean, I don't do
I
drugs,
don't suggest they start because they won't have.
Oh, they won't have no teachers, no. Well, let me back up though.
but no. Answer the question: why don't they drug test teachers?
They do if you have a reason, if there's a reason.
When you let me make it more specific. When you apply for a teaching job, they don't drug test you.
I've been teaching for 10 years. I've never been drug tested before.
That's not a requirement for them to. But other jobs, I
work for the government. I wasn't drug tested there also.
Okay. I would think that
well,
they
now
would.
you got me second guessing whether or not I was drug tested. I feel
You
like
would
I
know
was.
if you were drug
wasn't
tested.
drug
I've been drug tested before for other jobs I've had
No,
before
but
teaching.
for
but
teaching,
I'm trying
my
to think
question
about
is
it.
why don't they drug test teachers? Because I say that we're working with children.
We already short.
Okay. You think that's why they don't drug test teachers?
I mean,
it
you
wouldn't
can't
be a
cut
good
it. It wouldn't
idea.
be a good idea. I hate to say that. I really
That's a
do,
shame.
but that's the truth.
That's
Let's
a
back
shame.
up because some of the stuff but we went back to, I said, prescription. I can't talk drugs is the main thing. And a lot of these teachers have prescriptions. So even if you did drug test them, I got a paperwork that say I
I'm
need
talking about
this.
weed, cocaine.
Well, okay,
I
so
mean,
in some
weed,
states weed is
I mean,
legal.
But they can. Okay, let's weed. I
So
don't.
now it's legal in certain states. I don't know if it's legal in
No,
Georgia,
it's-
but it can be passed off as a medical situation
Yeah,
because
that's true.
I've known teachers that now I'm not advocating weed. I don't smoke it,
Me neither.
but
No drug use here, folks.
I know that some teachers have needed it for their mental health.
Wow.
Why do you say need it for their mental health?
They were stressed out.
So they
And the drugs, let's keep it funky. Some of the
Okay.
drugs that they have, come with a lot of side effects
they do.
and addictive
They
situations.
They do. You're right about that. Absolutely. They
Mhm.
are addictive.
But let's talk about the teachers that are bringing drugs to school because there have been incidents where teachers have brought drugs to school. About 6 months ago, this school, Seminole High School, I'm not sure the county, but a teacher got caught for bringing in fentanyl. And we know that's...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a big one right
I didn't
now.
hear
It's a
about
lot
that.
of the kids are using it, and the teachers are using it too. Yeah, I've seen a lot of. There's been a lot of fentanyl related deaths, and it's been really tragic between teachers, students, and
that's
teachers.
trashy, though.
But
It is.
I think in America as a whole, I think a lot of people are walking around drugged up. As a country, we lie to ourselves about the mental state of Americans. It's a lot of druggies. I mean, functioning drug. I'm not talking about tweaking on the side of the street. I mean, functioning drug addicts. And there are a lot of functioning teachers who are addicted to a lot of prescription medications. I know some that I've run into that have them. They try to pass it on to the next teacher next door.
Need this?
Like it's like a Band-Aid over a bullet wound because it doesn't fix the issue. A lot of teachers, and we've said it before, a lot of us as a whole, we're stressed. And a lot of teachers don't know how to manage stress, work-life balance. And yeah, you're right. Just to go back to your point, Ty, they don't need to be drug tested because you wouldn't have any. Go ahead, Nikki.
No. Go ahead.
I'm done.
No, I'm listening. I wasn't going to say that yet. So
Don't
you
worry
said
about it.
something about them being functioning, but and it being a Band-Aid over a bullet wound. But I feel like part of the problem is systemic. And not to say, not to absolve teachers, because teachers are just people. So not to absolve full-fledged adults of their responsibility of taking care of themselves and doing what's right, right? Not to absolve them of that responsibility. But in the education profession, people are stressed out. And you're right. Teachers we are not the best at managing stress as a whole. I feel like we do well, three of us, but I feel like we do well because we also support each other in that doing well, right? So I feel like part of that is a systemic issue. Like not just the teachers themselves are not 100% to blame. Like maybe 50% is on somebody else.
I'm not blaming the teachers. You have to take responsibility for yourself.
Sure.
I mean, if a lot of teachers try to self-medicate because they don't know what else to do. Like they have a classroom of kids. It's like a trickle-down effect. The admin isn't helping. The district isn't helping. Their spouse isn't helping. They can't control. And their lives are out of control. Yeah. So at some point, you have to say, all right, what do I need to do to get back on track? There is, how can I say this? There are some people that use prescription medication if they are depressed, if they have anxiety. Great. But there are some people that use it as a crutch for not dealing. And this isn't everybody, but there are some that use it and they're not getting to the core issue of what's happening. So,
do you think it's given too easily? Like for me, and I'll use myself as an example. Is that you can go to
the prescription the pharmaceutical industry is a $1 billion probably plus industry. Yeah. So I mean, if you have a person that has anxiety or depression, you're not going to tell them, okay, well, why don't we do like a garden? Why don't we have you working in the sun to jumpstart those hormones in your brain, get the vitamin D.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we do grounding? Why don't you take your shoes off, put your feet in the ground? Why don't we just have you sit?
Yes.
Why don't we do other things to eradicate the issues that you have? But I can give you this pill, you'll be back. Yep. That can pay for whatever I have. And I think it's genius.
And I think,
I mean,
and in a sarcastic way, I'm saying it's genius. Yeah,
and it's quick because we're in that microwave society too, where it's like I can just give you this pill, and tomorrow you're back to work. Boom,
and that's the problem.
Yeah,
because a lot of teachers are coming in here, like you said, they're putting on medication because of their mental illness or a mental state at that time. And these medicine have side effects. Yeah. And they may not know what the side effect is at that time. And you are overseeing children. Yeah. I've seen teachers have breakdowns. Yeah. I've seen teachers say, hey, I got intrusive thoughts. And they are teaching these kids. Not any, I wouldn't say it's not their... What's what I'm trying to say? Not something that they're trying to do on purpose, but they have no control over what a medication may do to them.
That's true.
And that's what you said, the popcorn society. We go to the doctor, let me give you this pill, and let me put you back in the classroom. And you're telling your supervisor or your principal X, Y to the Z, they need that body in the classroom. You're going to be doped up, self-medicated, and you're going to be in there in that classroom. As long as you're there, you all right.
Yep. It's just a warm body. You're a warm body in the classroom. Thank you so much for staying. Because a show can't replace you. And we say this sarcastically. I know, it's not funny, but it's funny, but it's not funny because it's awful. But I'm saying, like, you're right. We are doing that, and there is, even when you do speak up and you say, "Hey, I'm having this issue, or I'm dealing with this issue," there's no one coming to say, "Let me relieve you," or "Hey, take a month off to
Take a month off,
or whatever you need."
We got the Zen room.
Well, you can't use it. What am I use it? During my planning period, when I got 2 meetings back to back in the IEP, when I'm using it.
They gave you the Zen room.
They gave it to me. I ain't got no key.
They gave you blue jeans on Friday and pizza.
Half a slice, because they took their pizza slice and they sliced it.
What else you want?
I don't know.
They gave you pizza.
A raise?
They know you ain't getting that.
I don't know. Not gonna get that.
That's gonna fix your mental problem.
It might. Maybe I can afford therapy, but I can't go because I got to work. Damn.
Well, and then when you take control over your mental health, now it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why you have to read your contract. You have to know how far can you push the boundaries of self-care.
What about the woman coming to work drunk?
That still can't
Let's
get
talk
over that.
about it.
I still can't get over that.
Has it gotten that bad?
Yes, it has.
Teachers
To
have
deal
been
with kids, you gotta be drunk or high to deal with some of these children. That's crazy.
When people ask you, I'm gonna ask you this so seriously. When say
she was on the illegal limit,
drunk,
how she got to work?
She did it at work. She
got drunk at work.
She had been drinking since the night before. She got up, and when you had drinks at night, I don't know, but you get up, you like you done slept some of it off. She went to work and said, "Let me re-up."
She thought
it was putting liquor in her coffee
she
cup.
brought the liquor to work.
She brought it with her in a lunchbox.
A lot of teachers have alcohol in them.
That is not unheard of. It is and that's the crazy part. None of what we're talking about is unheard of. But I was going to ask you.
Powder at the school.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Come on, in your car. Stop playing.
Come
Flask, check the purses.
Powder?
Yes.
Come on now.
It's just that parents don't know that. Yes. Parents don't. I don't think people understand how high and drunk teachers are.
Teacher everywhere.
High as a kite.
So how about, so I'm going to ask you this, because I'm going to say this.
I know some teachers smoke a little weed, but
no. Is this what? Wait, I don't snort cocaine, so I wouldn't know which way it goes, but you know what I'm saying.
You gave a good example.
Well, thank you.
But the kids are bringing it too. The kids are bringing it and selling it to
Don't nobody want to deal with nobody. This is
the kids doing it and they selling it to the teachers.
This is crazy.
The teachers doing it and bringing it to the kids.
Because it's going both ways.
Because let's talk about this teacher last year in Miami.
Yes, Lord Jesus.
Substitute teacher. Letting anybody in the school.
What?
He done bought vapes.
Yep.
He was even taking sex as an option of payment. We talking about kids starting at 11 years old, girls starting at 11 years old. This is what's happening. He was selling drugs through vapes. Come on now.
What?
Yeah, this is a real situation.
Yeah, or the company who made the vape pens that look like highlighters. When it was back to school season, there were companies that were making the vape pens that look like highlighters and pencils and kids was buying them because it looks like a highlighter. I can get away with it.
But wait, you can't just buy vape pens off the it's behind.
The teacher's selling them. What you mean they can't buy?
Or the high schooler who's 18 buying it. They're buying
the teacher's selling them. They ain't got the money. Don't worry about it. Meet me in the bathroom.
Oh, not the bathroom.
I see you at 4:45.
They were taking sex as payment. From the children?
This guy in Miami?
This is outrageous.
I mean, the stories are unlimited.
Yes.
If you can dig and do a little research.
Yeah. You ain't got to dig deep, right?
That part, yeah.
You don't.
And we know the kids bringing drugs. That's not new news. Mm-mm. The kids been vaping. They've been vaping. We know for sure starting in the 6th grade.
Absolutely sure. They've been vaping and they've been
smoking cigarettes,
smoking weed.
Well, yeah,
a lot of stuff. Popping pills since middle school.
They done elevated. We know that. I mean, so this is nothing new for the kids. Now, for the educator, the professional is what I'm shocked about because maybe I've been living under a rock. I never known any of my. I'm trying to think back to when I was in high school, if I could recognize any of my teachers were high. If they were, they played it off so good. Now, they may have slept with some children, but I don't remember them getting high.
Oh, my God.
No.
So,
I don't.
Wow.
No.
but
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, me neither.
nah, we done
But, I
smell
mean,
some
you're
children. We done smell some teachers coming in.
yeah.
Now I know some of my teachers get high. Teacher
Mhm.
friends,
Mm-hmm.
you smell it on them when they come to school.
But
Know
why?
they be
To deal with the kids.
Is it just the kids or?
recreational.
Some of them do it. I think
Okay,
they do
yeah,
it
some is
anyway.
recreational,
Yeah, they do it
probably.
anyway. But if you're doing it before work, that means that you can't handle the work situation.
I mean, doctors snort coke before they operate on you.
Don't say that. I got to have operation.
I mean, I watch a lot of movies.
Don't say
I think that's the problem.
That's the problem.
This is something you saw. Like, this is a real
That's a
thing.
real situation.
I
That's a
mean,
movie. Please tell me
You
that's
do watch a
movie.
lot of movies.
I
so.
do watch a lot of
Please tell me
movies,
that's
but
not
you
Snorting
know,
cocaine before a surgery.
Please
What?
don't. Oh my god.
y'all doctors and lawyers out here getting high.
Oh, of
That's a-
course.
So it's not unique to the
It's a-
teaching
No.
profession.
I'm trying to see how the teachers can afford
I mean,
it
they
with our
have
income.
That's a good point.
We
Buying
don't
it
make
from
a
the
whole
kid.
lot of money because Coca-Con, what they call a Coco, what they call a
I don't
Coco.
know because I don't.
She got a nickname, but it's expensive. I'm trying to see how the teachers can even
that got to
afford.
be an up north thing where they making more. Because down here ain't no way.
What?
Not with 50, 60 grand down here.
You buy what you want to buy.
You know what? You sure right about it. If
You
want
save
it,
up
you
enough
can get it.
checks.
So you just can't pay your mortgage. 5 teachers living in a house.
I mean, if you're a drug addict, I mean, you're
You
going to
gonna
let
get
some
what you-
things slide.
You're right.
If you're a hard drug addict.
So, okay. So, but you said something earlier. Okay. So we're not drug testing teachers.
Right.
Honestly, the education system
Do you
can't
think they should?
afford.
I would go ahead and go. You answer now.
I feel like that's a complex answer.
Now, don't put no pressure on nobody because we already in a shortage.
That's what I'm saying. If you say yes, then who gonna teach?
But again, my thing
The three of
is,
us, we gonna be it.
why wouldn't
And
you do
10
it in
more
the first
teachers?
place?
That's cool.
Why wouldn't you just do it in the first, like before the mass exodus of teachers? I don't understand why that wasn't something in
Because
the
we
first
wasn't
place.
high when we got the job. We just started getting high.
They just
until-
assumed
Yeah, we probably came
you
in
probably was
on
normal when
a-
you started.
We probably came in on a soul
they drug test
level.
if you work at a clothing store.
You know,
But I don't think they should drug test now. No,
after they get the
I
job,
just don't.
Too far in the game now.
too far. Mhm.
the way that public school is set up and the stress that they put on teachers, most of them are high or
So
drunk.
you saying that
You think most?
I do.
So you saying it's the district's stress that are causing teachers to turn to narcotics.
No, again, I think you have to take control over your own situation.
Okay.
But that's kind of hard to say because most people need to be told what to do because they don't want to be punished. So
Okay.
I know for me personally, of course, when I go into any situation, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it may look like I'm overachieving,
Mm-hmm.
but I put me first.
Yeah,
So
you do.
a lot of people aren't rebellious. Some people say, oh, you're being a rebel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just use that term. Most people are not going to be rebellious in that sense because, again, we keep coming back to this thing of being job scared.
Yeah.
You're doing what you're supposed to do, but you're afraid to do things for yourself. So
Why does taking
Yeah.
care of me all of a sudden mean that I'm not doing what I need to do to fulfill the obligations of my role? Like, why are those two things synonymous? Because I think you're making a great point, but why are those two? Why is that a synonym? You must not be doing your job because you're taking care of yourself. Why do you think that might be true?
I mean, because, again, if you work for any company, it's for the interest of the company.
Yeah.
Like you have to make the company or the district or the school look good.
Yeah.
So if you're not supposed to, teachers, the idea of what a teacher is supposed to look like, the things that we're supposed to do. If I say, all right, I'm not coming to work, this is hypothetically speaking, I'm not coming to work Wednesday and Thursday because I'm going to the spa. I'm going to maybe, I don't know, drive up to Tennessee to go to Ruby Falls. They're going to think like you're crazy. Why in the world would you want to do something for yourself? Because we live in a society where you're not supposed to do things for yourself. Unless you take control over it and say, no, I'm doing this and this is what I want to do because you're part of the working class. And if you're a part of the working class, you're supposed to be working until you're bent over dead.
Yeah.
Unless you are, you come from a different type of family, or maybe you are, have different standards. Maybe you're a celebrity or something. Like, those things are for those people over there. And that's not true.
So it's twofold then, because it's because we're saying, okay, we understand it's a systemic problem. We understand also, though, that if you do something for yourself, then that is the problem. Like, how dare you take off? Because that's a great point. You take off some time. That's a problem.
You can think how you want to think. I'm out.
You taking the time off. PTO,
Absolutely.
prepare the others.
It's my time. I was working at a job one time, and I was showing up to work, never taking off. And my supervisor came to me and she said, you have time, right? You don't have to tell me what you're doing with your time. It's your time. You need to take off, because we gonna be eating chicken over you when you gone, and we gonna replace you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So from that day on, I start, because I practiced it when I was in school. My mom practiced, I need to be at school, perfect attendance, and if you ever work for the post office, then the post office do not care about their people. They care about getting that mail out to the residents or the customers or what have you. So when you work or be involved in those strict mindsets that set you up for the future or other positions, I need to come to work. I don't need to miss them. Nobody cares. They're taking off. You could come to work. You don't want to. I don't want to miss because I don't want to get behind. It's going to be there.
I'm glad you said that, because I know of a situation that happened that where someone passed away, and at the job, and the next day, position was up.
That's what I'm talking about.
They didn't pass away at work, but it was literally the next day the position was open and they were searching. And it was just like, you're right. We didn't even know what was going on. We didn't know what had happened. But the thing is, the point that you're making is, we're going to be eating chicken over you. And the district is going to move on. Yeah. Everybody, the people that know you personally, your family is going to be who miss you. Right? Everybody around. But yeah.
The day is time for me to take a harmful drug. Is the day that I need to leave that job.
Yeah. I feel like some teachers, to Joya's point of taking, utilizing prescription drugs, utilizing narcotics they're not using them for any different purpose than any other profession or person that is using drugs. Right. But the bigger thing is they're masking, you're using that to cover up a problem that needs to be fixed. And that problem is that you are putting too much emphasis on this job. And that's all it is. I was just talking to somebody else the other day about, I was talking to a former teacher, and she had left teaching to be a stay-at-home mom. And I was like, that's great. And she was like, oh, but I just miss it so much. I thought it was wonderful that she decided to be a stay-at-home mom. But in her mind, she was like, yeah, but I really miss being in the classroom. And I just think I should have been in the classroom. And I've always been a teacher. All I ever wanted to do is be a teacher, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Like everything was teacher. And I said, so what do you do for you? Like, who are you? Who are you? Like, who are you? And she was like, I'm a teacher. I'm like, no. Who are you? Right. Not what are you? Definitely. Not what is your passion? Who are you? And I say it all the time to you guys. Like, I am so thankful that y'all got me out of this defining myself by what I do and the role that I play in the lives of others, and really starting to think about who is Nikki? Who is Nikki outside of school? Right. Because I really feel like what happens, because I was doing the same thing. I was one of those teachers. I was going to the therapist, and therapist was like, here's a pill. Oh, you depressed now? You ain't got, it's not just things out. Here's another pill. Just take these two, one in the morning, one at nighttime, and you'll just be, that's crazy. And I was in there looking crazy too, I'm sure.
Yeah, you were looking because I was a couple times. Then there was the moments where you was at your desk, broke down, crying.
That's like, it, because you don't know what to do.
This girl. Ever since they took Rough McGruff out of school, we've been down here.
You're right. Should have left Rough McGruff in there.
No, like you know.
Who is it? The drug guy.
The dog.
Yeah.
Oh, the white dog.
He brown joy.
Brown dog. Rough, bruh. We're gonna have to put the link in there.
Bring him up.
Don't worry about it. We got
but don't worry about it.
Yeah, they don't do anti-drug
No, they don't.
campaigns anymore.
No
I can
dare.
now, when your teacher's in here pushing it
Mm-hmm.
and
using it.
Dang.
I mean, shame on the teachers who are bringing drugs inside our schools. Shame on you. And whatever the justice system will do to you, you deserve every bit of it, because a child mind, that's especially when we're talking about middle school age,
Mm-hmm.
that's a manipulation stage. That's when a brain is not fully developed. That is the time you can probably tempt a child to do anything. And it's really shame on you, and you really deserve whatever's going to come to you.
Yeah.
And not to mention, we just had in the news where the people were pushing drugs in the daycare. This is how bad America is getting. A baby died.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because they was having drugs in the daycare.
Mm-hmm.
And a baby died.
Wow.
Yeah.
From being around the drug.
Because
that's a shame.
And it's not every teacher.
totally
Like, I want to be clear that it's not every teacher. Like, but it's enough. Because these things is, I always feel like, bad news travels fast.
Yeah, no,
news travels fast, period, but bad news travels faster. So we hear about all these instances, but the fact that there are so many instances to be talked about, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It ain't one or two, it's hundreds.
It's a lot.
It's so many stories.
What you do in your free time and your leisure, if that's what you want to do,
Yeah.
knock yourself out.
But please
'Cause
don't bring it to the
'cause
school.
I
Leave my
drink.
kids out of it.
I
Thank
ain't
you.
coming to school drunk.
And ain't kind of
But
school hot
I
or
do
drunk
have a glass of wine
after school.
because I be whining with shameless plug. I'm not gonna do it.
Why not? This our show. This
I
our
be
show.
whining with Ty, so
We'll link the Instagram page. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, if it's think about your choices that you're making.
Absolutely.
If it's gonna hurt somebody or hurt you, then you might want to reconsider it.
Mm-hmm.
What about those that are not mentally strong enough to deal with that and don't
Just
recognize
do
that they have an issue? Because I think you, like Joy, you started kind of going in that direction where you were saying like you out here just doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not aware that you have a problem.
I mean, I think if people aren't aware that they have an issue, there's nothing you can do, because you have to sit with yourself and say, okay, this isn't working. These pills aren't working. This, this alcohol isn't working. And then once you say, all right, I'm ready to make some type of change, that there's a quote that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So up until that point, then there's nothing really that you can do.
That's true.
Yeah.
And being around drug abuse, just seeing it from my own personal experiences, it's only so long that, you can keep it under wraps, because being on drugs, you will unravel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how pretty your makeup is, how well to do your clothes are coming in, you will start to unravel and people will start to notice, because drugs, if you do them, especially for a length of time, drugs will become the best of you. I've seen it. I've seen it in my family. I've seen it, with people. So they will win if you don't get control over them.
Absolutely. I think it's a sad situation. And I do put, I might be the only person that feels like this, but I do put a lot of the onus and responsibility for teachers being the workload being what it is on districts and on society as a whole, because our expectations of educators has never been higher. We are expecting so much, and it's a constant thing. Do this one thing. Do this one thing. Now we want this. Now the test scores need to be this. Now the classroom size is 40 instead of 25.
Right.
The expectations. Call every single parent once a week, but you got 200 kids. The expectations are insurmountable, and they are often impossible. And when you say that you're only, and then we do things like Teacher of the Year, which feels like almost like a beauty pageant. It feels like trying to win Miss America. Like, you got to be the best, and to be
Isn't
the
that
best.
crazy?
It's why do I need?
That's sick, man.
I've never liked it, and it's like, oh, we should have this voting
Every
right.
teacher needs to be Teacher of the Year, and every teacher
Correct.
who does what they're supposed to do in that classroom at that
Yes.
school every single day needs to be Teacher of the Year.
Yes.
But it's politics.
It is.
And because when you become, for the most part, Teacher of the Year, then you can move up here and do this thing. You can kind of, it's politics.
Yeah.
So teachers just do what you need to do. If you need to take a day off, bye.
Take the day off. And that's the thing.
Just
But
like
a lot
that.
of them feel like, it's like we always say, it's more work to prepare for a day off or to prepare for a sub than it is to just come to school sick.
No,
Just stay home. Don't even worry if the sub coming. Listening to other teachers will make you sick of teaching. Listening to the plight of other teachers will make you sick. Because it is literally just, you hear problem after problem after problem after problem, and all the problems have the same
the kids
source.
ain't gonna do the work anyway. When you out, they barely doing the work while you at school.
Even if they do the work,
you got
it
a
doesn't
sub,
matter.
they definitely ain't doing the work.
Right.
So
And the subs
it
ain't
is
no
what
better.
it is. That's why ain't no real pressure on no sub plans. Worksheets.
Play a little jingle. That's all I got.
Oh.
That's the sub plan. Play some jingle.
Yeah, puzzle.
Have some fun. Free day. I'm free, you free. I'm on my self-care. You be on yours too.
Oh my
Ty,
God.
please close us out. I can't.
We want to thank you again for joining us on another episode with Real Teachers of Atlanta. Make sure that you subscribe to our podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. We are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads.
Yep.
I've never been on Threads, but we're on Threads. But again, we're out, and thank you. Bye.
If you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe and follow us at Real Teachers of Atlanta. Got to see you there.
We got the queens in the house, y'all.